All right, so we've actually started just a couple of minutes early, but I don't expect people to be rocking up halfway through, so I think we might just get straight into it. We decided it wasn't hard enough to do the talk in 15 minutes, so we thought we'd get 2 people to do a talk in 15 minutes. So we're going to go through this pretty quick. The reason there's 2 of us is that I'm more of a hands-on person. So I've been working with artificial intelligence with companies. Actually, I've been working with AI for probably over 10 years, but customers have been asking for it for about the last 2 years. Johan's more technical. So what I'll be doing is showing you how you can join several different types of artificial intelligence together using a chatbot where FileMaker Go is the glue. So after I show you briefly what these different types of AI are, then Johan will come on and give you a bit of a glimpse as to how to get it to work within FileMaker. What I'm going to do is jump straight into a video. It's very short, goes for about a minute and a half. I'm only going to show you the start of the video just to give you an idea of how your FileMaker Go app might launch using artificial intelligence.
Hey Siri, I need to talk to iBrad.
Running your shortcut.
I've got a photo here and I want to add a few people to my guest list. Can you help me out, Brad? No, Brad.
So you just got a great example there of how much I hate my Australian accent. When I was setting up for the demo, I kid you not, I said Brad about 10 times and it kept thinking I was saying bread, so I tried really hard to pronounce it properly when I did the video. It got it wrong and I was almost going to swear, but I said, oh no, I meant Brad. And then what I saw it do, as you just saw then, it went back and fixed bread and put Brad, and then put Brad a second time, but I was okay with that. So I thought, I'll leave that in for the gang, you know? So I said before that we're joining different types of AI together. I think Heidi probably put it better when she was talking about just what AI is, where you've got AI and you've got machine learning, then you've got deep learning. What we're really doing is joining about 7 or 8 different types of machine learning together to give an experience of artificial intelligence. Now in just that short video you've seen there, I reckon there's probably about 4 different types of machine learning that are taking place. The first one was voice to text in a very public way. So when you got your phone sitting and you say, hey Siri, and I was really hoping a whole bunch of Siris were going off. I had my fingers crossed that all these phones would say yes, 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 but it didn't happen. But when you say, hey Siri, Siri's got no idea what you're about to say. There's an infinite number of things you could have said. And it does this natural language processing. That's the second type of machine learning. So the first one took your voice and created a line of text out of it. The second one looked at the text to try and work out what's the intent, what's the content, what's the meaning. And it's doing all that in a very public way. Now, there's another little thing going on which I don't think really is machine learning, but I had my iOS shortcuts listening for a phrase. And so if Siri heard that phrase, she said, okay, I'm going to go and fire off one of the shortcuts. And in this particular shortcut, it opened up our FileMaker Go app. Now, tomorrow, Johan and I are going to be doing a similar session, but we're going to spend a whole hour on this. So we're not going to get into a lot of the detail today. We're just going to give you kind of glimpses. But if you're interested and you're kind of hungry to try and do this yourself, then you can come to a full hour session tomorrow. So we've kind of got 4 different types of machine learning that really got us up and running. And these second 2, I kind of refer to them as private natural language processing. Because once your FileMaker Go app opens up and you then speak again, once again, your voice is converted into text, but now that text is sitting in one of your fields inside of FileMaker. So then you've got a choice. You can now see the text inside of your FileMaker field. I'm sure there's a few more masochists out there, similar to myself, who just couldn't help themselves to try and build a chatbot inside of FileMaker. You actually can do that, although there's so many free and amazingly powerful ones there, I'm not sure why you would. And given the announcement this morning, it's going to be so easy to connect to existing chatbots. But the point I'm trying to make is that once that text is inside your FileMaker field, you can use that to set off triggers, to do all sorts of things, or to make a call back out to an external machine learning algorithm, which is what our talk last year was all about. So we spent a whole hour last year talking about how you could create a chatbot using FileMaker. So we're not going to go into a lot of detail with that today. But again, that video is still available, so you can look through that. So we've got 4 different types of machine learning, and all we've done is really open the app and had a sentence drop into the text box. So I'm going to continue the video, but I'm going to talk over the top of it. So what just happened was we said to iBrad, I've got a few people here that I want to add to an event. And so iBrad has said, okay, if you've got some people, then show me a photo of them. And you can either take a photo on the spot, or you can bring it up from the library. It's taken that photo, and just as Joe's explained with the way it all works, it's sent that photo off and it's come back and it's told us all sorts of things about these three people. The main thing that I was interested in when I was just playing around with how I could demonstrate this today was the number, the fact that it knew there were three people. This could do something as simple as meaning an automatic addition of three people to this seminar or workshop that you're running. This ability that this image recognition has of being able to count people transfers across to objects as well. And for me, I'm a big fan of applied AI. So I know it's all kind of fun and it's all this interesting stuff going on, but when I talked, Heidi mentioned this, like don't start with the solution, right? I couldn't agree with that more. When I talk to my clients, I don't go in and say, oh, I've got a FileMaker chatbot. They'd probably just boom me straight out the door. What I go in is I say, like, what's your strategies? What are your visions? And what are your real pain points that you can't deal with? And I had dinner with a FileMaker developer last night who was telling me about a real life scenario where they have a customer service center and the managers want to know during the call, are they mentioning the right things? And he said that people spend 7 hours a day analysing the conversations. Machine learning could do that in about a second. If you're doing stock takes, imagine how long it would take if you've got lots of sheets or lots of bags. You can do it in about 3 seconds. Take a photo, bang, tells you how many items you got. So AI can do stuff that people can do, but much faster. AI can also do something that people would have a real hard time. I don't want to be the person asked to manually count how many people are at this event. But there's machine learning that'll do it for you. Take a photo and it'll tell you how many people are at the event. This ability that machine learning has and AI has of being able to look at huge amounts of data and draw meaning and kind of understanding from them is really what I think machine learning and AI is all about. Heidi mentioned I've got some projects running with very large clients. 2 of them that have allowed me to use their name is Unilever and Mars. Mars is like the 6th biggest private company in the US. In both cases, I was doing a bit of prediction. So there's a chatbot, but the chatbot was doing prediction. So in the Mars case, engineers would have a discussion with the chatbot, and the chatbot would say, I think you should go over and look at machine number A because it's about to break down. So it was predicting breakdowns of machines. And although that is something maybe, you could have someone sitting there looking at what's going on all day to try and do that as well, the AI also had visibility of logistics. So the AI knows which products are going out of stock. So it would weight the decision. So if you've got 2 machines about to break down, you've got a lot of stock A, but nothing in stock B, the AI would be clever enough to say, well, go and fix stock B, machine number B, so that we get back in stock. So there's a whole bunch of stuff we can do here. And Heidi was talking about categorization and clustering. And I think they're the kind of things you want to kind of look into if you want to try to automate some of the work that FileMaker developers are doing. That's just a reference of where I got that image from. So the last part of this little demo is iBrad has said you need a larger venue. So the user, being a rude Aussie, has kind of gone, oh, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, why? Why do I need a large venue? And this is some of the lowest hanging fruit you've got with AI and chatbots. It's what we've been calling a conversational user interface. Because the chatbot heard you say, well, why? What's the problem? The chatbot said, well, it's a pretty straightforward prediction going on here. Here are all the people coming to your seminar. If you draw a straight line through that, you're going to exceed capacity. So then the user has gone, oh, man, so I've got to pay more money for another conference, like a larger room. I'm spending enough money on this already. The AI has noticed the feelings that are going on with the user. The AI has noticed that there's some anxiety there. So then the user says, what's going on with this? How did you know I was anxious? And so to kind of help the user understand where that's coming from, the AI or the chatbot has gone off and said, I've taken what you've been talking to me about, I've sent it through another machine learning algorithm, and has brought back the highest prediction of tone, of feelings that are going on. Tomorrow we're going to get into that a lot deeper because Heidi did some fun stuff with me when I first discovered this through Heidi. But if you think about triangulation, if you have a video chat, the chatbot could see from the expressions on your face what kind of emotions you've got. The chatbot could then look at what you're saying and send it off to a different machine learning algorithm. and come back with how you're feeling. It could listen to your voice, and if you don't have a cold, it might work out what your feelings are there. So it can triangulate and get very confident predictions about how you're feeling. In this particular case, the AI was saying that one of these people is very happy. And as you're about to find out, the AI was spot on, because Jan's very happy and he's about to present the rest of the talk to you.
Thanks, Luke.
No worries.
Who wouldn't be happy standing next to these guys? Okay, so chatbots. Yeah, we did talk about it last year, but since last year, dialogue that we talked about last year also come up with a lot of these pre-built chats that's gonna make the world for you if you're just looking at what they have. So there are a lot of pre-built chatbots that you can just pick that already have a purpose. So they already done a lot of machine learning to these ones to help you in a situation that might need them. So for example, if you have to do something with translation from Chinese to American or English, whatever it might be, you can pick an already pre-built chatbot and use it in your solution. Joe talked quite a lot about Amazon recognition, and I'm also briefly going to talk about that being FileMaker Go being the glue here, talking to that service. So once you have some kind of input, it could be an image, like Joe said, or a video in real time or as a batch video. You send it over to Amazon recognition, who will take care of all that machine learning to look at it, and you're going to get back a result. Not only are you going to get those squares that Joe told you all about, but you only got to get a lot of different information that could be useful for your solution. So we built a solution that we're going to show a lot more about tomorrow under the hood, what's actually happening. But think about this. You have in your hand a FileMaker Go. They can take pictures from the back or the front of your camera. You pick them in full resolution, so you get a really high quality image sent off to Amazon recognition. And the information you come back will then be something that can be useful. But not only can you take pictures, you can also pick things out of your photo library, an already existing image, or you can take something like a video. You can also pick other things here, but not all of them are useful for Amazon recognition. So once you then get your result back, what we built in our app is a number of tags. These tags could be useful for different things, like getting emotions like Luke talked about, or tags that might be something useful for your business. In the app that we are talking about, we are calling 3 services at Amazon recognition at the same time, making sure you get all those scenes and objects. You also get the text and all the faces analyzed, so you get all of that information. And it's not that difficult. You just call that same service 3 times. And just saying, this time I want to use this service called detect labels. Second time I want to use detect text. And then the third time I want to use detect faces. I'm using the same image, just sending 3 different calls to this API. And everyone knows now that we have JSON in FileMaker. Once we get that data back, you can do anything you want with it. You can pick out the boundaries, like Joe said. You can pick out the confidence score. You can create things out of this JSON. That's totally up to you. So in the app that we built, we are parsing things a little bit different depending on the service we are building. So for the first one here, when we did object and scene detection, that is called labels, we are, can I look at that one? We are detecting information that is coming out of that JSON, and for every new tag that we get, we create a new record. In there, we get some information of the name of it, if it's any parent, the confidence score, the number of occasions that tag exists, and we are parsing it from the JSON right here, using the function called JSON getElement. And for the second one, we are using almost the same technique. So again, we are parsing the JSON to detect what kind of information we get back as a result. And again, we create new records for every new tag that we get. Whereas if we instead are going to the faces, everything it looks unique for all the things that we get back. So then we are detecting if there's 1 or more persons in the image. We are then detecting everything from emotions to the face, to the mouth, and everything. So you can see here we're detecting different things depending on what it is. So we have landmarks in the image. We have all the emotions. And there are a lot of these ones that you can get out of just one image. So once you have all of that information out, you're probably going to end up in an image like this. Here we have a person with a vest on, and you have another 38 tags coming out of these 3 service calls. So it's detecting that information is really relevant for your usage. So if we look in a little bit to what that looks like in one of those different tags, we can see that we did here have some outdoor. It's really high confidence score on that one. We do have a vest on, and it seems to be a part of the parent clothing. We keep going a little bit further down. We can see that we got a lot of different tags going on here. We got wilderness, which is a part of the nature. And then we can see we do have a face here that seems to be an age of 35 to 52. We go down a little bit further down. Luckily for me, it thinks it's a male, so probably got the right gender there. And you can see, we also see that I shaved my beard this morning, so I don't have any mustache. So you can use these results in any way you want. If you want to step this up a bit, Amazon also offers another service called Amazon SageMaker. SageMaker is where you create your machine learning yourself. You choose an algorithm, you train your model, and then you deploy it. So there are 5 steps you need to do. You need to train your data sets by active learning or human labeling. Then you need to connect Amazon service to use that label set. And then you train or you use some of those pre-built algorithms that is Amazon giving out to you. And then you tune that information, and you can use some of the pre-built algorithms like Alexa, for those who already have that, or the one Amazon uses themselves for searches for different services. For everyone that I was looking earlier this morning, this new tool is going to be really handy going forward. With the connection possibility of reaching out to different things, you'll be able to connect to more than 100 different services through one single agent. So that could be another database, another app, or it could be artificial intelligence. And like Heidi told us before here, if you want to know more, tomorrow we have a session at 11 in Osceola A, and then we will go more deeply into what's going to happen at that session.